Can you hear me, everybody?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Excellent.
Good morning. Welcome to the Treasure Coast Unitarian Universalist Congregation in Stuart, Florida. Today is Sunday, December 28th, 2025. My name is Cindy Summers, and I'm your worship associate today. We are a welcoming congregation. We welcome people of all gender identities, ethnicities, ages, and backgrounds, recognizing the inherent worth and dignity of every person. We are here to celebrate, affirm, and put into action the interconnected living mission of the Unitarian principles that you'll find printed in the back of your order of service. We broadcast and archive our services on YouTube, and to be put on our mailing list or to find out more information about us, please go to our website at tcuuc.org. At this time, please take a moment to silence your cell phones. Visitors, we welcome anyone who is here for the first time or maybe even the second time to come forward if you're comfortable and speak into the microphone to introduce yourselves.
He just walked in.
I'm
I
not
don't
going
think
to.
he heard you.
Okay. Visitors, if you feel comfortable, please come up to the microphone and introduce yourself. If you feel comfortable, come up. Okay, that's okay. Okay, so for our announcements, please see the printed order of service and the newsletter for complete details. Join us on the first and third Tuesdays at Poppleton Creek Park at noon for our brown bag lunch. This park is down the street adjacent to the dog park. This is the last Sunday to donate to the House of Hope through our social justice program. The second collection today will be 100% donated to the House of Hope. Thank you to our social justice team for organizing this worthy event. Now, I think we have two more announcements. I think Jim and, you want to come on up and do them out?
Good morning. Truman Dunn for the Social Justice Team. As Cindy just said, this is the last Sunday for the Fill the Baskets for December for House of Hope, both the food out there and the donations later when the second offering plate comes around. But I wanted to make a quick observation. When I was at Christmas Eve, Carol's son goes to a very evangelical church, and I would say 85% of the people who came were carrying a floppy Bible. So I would propose that instead of carrying a Bible to service every Sunday, we think about remembering to carry food and bring it and put it in the basket, not just during December, but all year round. So start to slowly, I'm trying to encourage us to start to slowly get in our minds when we come on Sunday. In addition to our car keys, do we have our little bag of food? And we might even need to get a bigger basket out there, but keep bringing it 52 Sundays a year. Just a proposal. The second is to encourage everyone to think about reserving the date of January 19th for the MLK Parade in East Stewart. If you've ever walked before, it's just an awesome event. We now have t-shirts, so we'll stand out with that really, really bright safety green that we have. And it would be awesome for our community to be a presence that is seen in East Stewart this year. That's Monday the 19th, assembling at Georgia Avenue off East Ocean about 10:30 in the morning. It's about a 3/4 of a mile walk to Guy Davis Park, but we'll also print the parade route in the update. And if you want to not walk a 3/4 of a mile, but only want to walk a half a mile or a 1/4 mile, just join us along the route, and so that we can end up in Guy Davis Park. Thanks.
Food is awesome. Good morning. My name is Jim Rose, and I want to acknowledge our worship associates. Back in, I guess it was the 1970s, Worship Associates began in California. There was a struggling church, and they needed people to help run the service, and it became a very formal part of the Unitarian Universalist movement. So what it is to have people that are within the congregation help contribute to the Sunday programs. And this year, we've had 8 wonderful worship associates, and when I say your name, will you please stand? Janet, who was my mentor and taught me how to do this. Stay standing, please. Judy Clow. And these are in order of how they appeared from January to now. So you were earlier then. Pat Burt. John Moore. Jackie Buckley. Cindy Summers, and Kim Emmons, and myself. And these people give freely of their time every week to put the scripts together and put the opening words together. And we're really grateful for all you've contributed to our entire church.
Besides the worship associates and the greeters and the musicians and our people up in the pulpit, I would like to recognize the officers of the church who often go unsung. You know, we have our president over there. Okay. Our vice president. You. Okay. Our secretary, who I don't know who that is. Okay, thank you. But one special person who's close to my heart, the treasurer, Ronnie Dembowski. She and I spend 2 hours after service every Sunday doing the accounts of the church.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Shari Louise, and effective January 1, I am your new hospitality chair. And I'm putting together a committee to make it a little easier and on everyone. So please be open to maybe one Sunday a month doing something, and I will have a list. Just as a treat today, I brought caramel macchiato chilled coffee with a whipped cream topping.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay. All righty. We will have coffee and cookies in our social hall after the service. And a big thanks to those who helped with the service: Jackie Robbins, cello, Sandy Craig, piano, and the TCUUC choir. Yay! I'm so happy we have a choir. Okay. For the music, our greeters, Janet Grote, Shari Louise, Pat Tusney. Our hospitality team is Joanne, Shari Lewis, Joanne, and Florence, and Shari. Okay. Bob is in the pulpit today. Here is our prelude.
This is the very well-known prelude to the first suite by Johann Sebastian Bach, which you've heard on in many movies, from Master and Captain to Yo-Yo Ma playing it at Lincoln Memorial, to dog food commercials and Cadillac commercials. There we go.
I'm going to say thank you, Jackie, but I'm also going to say, wow. That was incredible. Okay, now for a chalice lighting. We light this chalice here in the darkness of winter as we wait. This temporary space is one filled with prayers to be answered, love to be given and received, miracles to be witnessed. May this light guide us until the light of sun returns again. The opening words. We are entering a new year. It is a chance for an entirely new cycle to begin in our lives, a beautiful time to inspire new beginnings. Sometimes we hold on too tightly to what we know and what we have, and we lose sight of all that could possibly be. We drown our desire in favor of comfort, and we dull the voice of our hearts as fear settles into our body. But nothing is more beautiful than a new beginning. It offers fresh hope and a sparkling new perspective on life. Okay, no, I'm not done yet. Okay, stand if you like to sing hymn number 240, I Heard the Bells on Christmas Day. Let us recite our affirmation, speaking the first verse and singing the second. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another.
when I heard all that energy of you folks and the things you do, I was reminded of a late former member, a founding member of this congregation, who somehow worked into every conversation we had when I went around to her home. She worked in that she'd been in churches where they didn't need a minister. Everybody did the work themselves, and everyone just took a turn on Sunday. So I don't, and she would always add, so I don't really know why we need you. And I would try to conclude that part of the conversation with, well, the board has so far felt they need a minister, and I'm happy to be it for now. Where was I? The responsive reading number 621, why not a star? They told me that when Jesus was born, a star appeared in the heavens above the place where the young child lay. When I was very young, I had no trouble believing wondrous things. I believed in the star. It was a wonderful miracle, a part of a long ago story, foretelling an uncommon life. They told me a supernova appeared in the heavens in its dying burst of fire. When I was older and believed in science and reason, I believed the story of the star explained, but I found I was unwilling to give up the star, fitting symbol for the birth of one whose uncommon life has been long remembered. The star explained became the star understood for Jesus, for Buddha, for Zarathustra. Why not a star? Some bright star shines somewhere in the heavens each time a child is born. Who knows what it may foretell? Who knows what uncommon life may yet again unfold if we but give it a chance? Now, this is our time of sharing matters of joy or sorrow, and I ask that they be personal and brief, not announcements. So who has a matter of joy or sorrow he or she would like to share? Are you raising your hand, Ed? No. Oh, okay. Sorry.
This may not be terribly personal, but it is to me. I believe our Christmas Eve service was outstanding, and the turnout for coffee, cookies, and eggnog was spectacular. Thank you so, so much.
Anyone else? Okay, then I'll mention that my wife got her new hip on Monday, and she keeps telling me that it's feeling better, and soon she won't need the walker, and you can go to church and leave me alone for a couple hours. So I'm glad to do all that. I'm glad to report all that. Lori is coming along with her new hip. And we put in one for people that we haven't said out loud, but we all carry such on our minds and hearts. The reading is from Norman Cousins, "The Body is Humankind," in the back of our hymnal. The body is humankind. I am a single cell in a body of 4 billion cells. The body is humankind. I am a single cell. My needs are individual, but they are not unique. I am interlocked with other human beings in the consequences of our actions, thoughts, and feelings. I will work for human unity and human peace, for a moral order in harmony with the order of the universe. Together we share the quest for a society of the whole equal to our needs. a society in which we need not live beneath our moral capacity and in which justice has a life of its own. We are single cells in a body of 4 billion cells. The body is humankind. Norman Cousins. And now a minute of silence. Spirit of Life, hymn 123. We hum it once, we sing it once, standing or seated. And now is our morning offering, in which we invite you to share your generosity because you know we need you to. And after our offering for the congregation, the church is received, then this extra offering, which will go to the House of Hope for the needs of the hungry in our area. The plate, so to speak, will be passed a second time. Thank you. Now my ushers are, oh yes, my ushers are. Thank you, ushers. Yeah, do that second. Thank you. You don't trust leaving it here? Is that what you're saying? I don't want to start sounding like Reverend Downer here, but I want to tell you about a couple more losses we had this year that I didn't learn about until I Googled. And you know, when you Google somebody's name, often somebody of vintage, before you get to the end of the spelling, Google will make suggestions, one of them almost always being the word obituary, which is, at the time I'm Googling, those names I was hoping not to find. But you know about the two pillars we lost this year. We also lost two very happy to be here snowbirds when they were here. And I was expecting to see them again, but I found out that I would not. Phyllis Hall, remember, we celebrated her 99th in January of 24. And I went over to her condo to see her, and her daughter was there. And her daughter said, my mom really is not going to be able to keep coming to Florida. This is probably the last time. And I said nothing, and Phyllis said, we'll see. So anyway, I called her several times and got her a few times during the year while she was up north, and then I couldn't reach her. But I was anxious to find out if we were going to be celebrating that centennial in January of 2025. So I didn't have any names to call, but I did know that she attended the Hartford UU. So I called there and got no one but a minister's voicemail and told him who I was and that I was hoping to find out if Phyllis was coming south this winter, but I got no response there. Anyhow, we found out because Jenny looked up and somehow got a couple phone numbers for her children. We found out after one of them returned a call that she had died in the previous September. So she was a wonderful presence here, even though she bugged me about starting this building here. At the time, I was really only thinking about retiring from here, but she was adamant about that. Her husband went to Vero, she came here, and she kept reminding me, we won't grow unless we build. So that was Phyllis, and we'll certainly remember her fondly. There was another guy who showed up here a couple times a year with his wife, a couple Sundays each time they showed up, Chris Bladen. Now, if you saw him, you would remember him. He was really happy about the place. He was only unhappy that he couldn't often get on YouTube to find us. And every Sunday, I would get a message from him that he succeeded or he didn't. And I didn't know how to tell him what to do except that red button. But Chris Bladen was a retired pilot, and he was really a character. I think he was an honorary mayor of Langhorne, PA, and he told me more than once he dressed up as George Washington on some ceremonial crossing of the Delaware. He was really a character. If you've been in my office, you've seen those hangings that are against the window. He gave me. He thought we might hang them, but I said, Chris, they're really like medieval militarism, not really UU. He says, well, do what you can, sell them if you can. So we need somebody with a big house that those had walls, that those could hang on the walls. But anyway, I finally lost touch with Chris and looked up again on Google, and I got the message. I'm just sharing this that we lost 2 pillars and we lost 2 very happy snowbirds when they were here. So I'll be saying to snowbirds from now on, would you please put on your refrigerator up north? Let's see, who are the snowbirds? Yeah, here are 2 snowbirds we have. Put on your refrigerator, Judy. If something awful happens to us, contact Bob Mack 1214. I don't know what else to say, except we want to know, we want to mourn. So that's my way of mourning Phyllis and Chris. Christmas starts out as getting. For children, it certainly starts out as getting. I've mentioned many times that my brother and I got Tinker toys and erector sets. In my first term here, I bought a canister of Tinker toys to remind me as a visual. I discovered as a kid I couldn't do a D thing with either the erector set or the Tinker toys. You know, the erector set came with a little motor, and you attached parts to it, and it did wondrous things. The Tinker toy had wheels that you could attach spokes to, so I guess you could make something without a motor, but I never figured that out. I was lacking in mechanical skills, which I also learned in elementary school. I don't know if when you went to elementary school, the boys got to take shop and the girls got to take home ec. Was that the way it was? That's true. Did any girls here try to take shop? Yes. Why am I not surprised? Well, I did take it and learned nothing. All of that gave me the idea, I better take book learning seriously. I better get into books because I knew I would. And I had a stepfather who was eager to teach me. He was a carpenter, and I went with him, and I didn't learn anything, but he tried. He tried. So I decided I better get into books. So I got to thinking, it's curious to me that my first church, or one of them, and my last church here kind of centered around book studies that I was able to get going. And I want to tell you a little bit about them. A while ago, I was contacted by the Methodist Church in Milford, Connecticut, which is not far from New Haven, where I went to seminary. And that church had merged with the church that I had while I was in seminary. And I had a number of churches in my beginnings who died. The churches died because they were very small, nothing like this number, and they could not go on. And I, a student, was all they could afford. And it was a way of my working my way through college and then seminary. So not that long ago, a member of that little church that merged with the bigger church in downtown, so to speak, Milford, contacted me and asked me what I could remember about being the minister there for my years of seminary. And what I could remember was that I had started a book study. And the book study was a series of pamphlets, actually bigger than pamphlets, booklets, put out by the Methodist Publishing House. And the name of the series was Man's Search for a Meaningful Faith. Man's Search for a Meaningful Faith. And at that time, around that time, I had been reading Viktor Frankl, in college and in seminary, man's search for meaning. Remember, Frankel, a Holocaust survivor, had said that looking for meaning in life had helped him live through the Holocaust. I'm sure a number of you have read that also. So in this Methodist series that we did week in and week out, a fictional couple, Imogene and Archibald. Now, if you were a Methodist in your former life and you took that study, you would remember Imogene and Archibald, if only for their names. But week in and week out, they wrestled with how their faith, hand-me-down faith from their families, applied to life today. And did it apply? And how were they to make it apply? So I discovered that I wasn't the only one in life looking for meaning. I was along with Imogene and Archibald. Now, I arrived here in '07, and the group in the other room, because this room wasn't here, was pretty responsive to starting a book discussion once a week. And the book we started with was Marcus Borg's The Heart of Christianity. Now, Borg, in that book, says that the denominations missed much about the heart of Christianity. And one of the points he made, I believe it was from that book, was that the creeds, the things you say out loud about your faith, are to get you thinking, not to stop you thinking. But it seemed like the creeds were all that many people in the Christian fold wanted to be able to say about their faith. So, what else did I want to say about my faith? The season of Christmas brings back a lot of memories, much of which are fictitious, things we've watched, like A Christmas Carol. And one of the things it brings to mind for any thinking religious people is the contrast between the haves and have-nots of our society. Haves and have-nots. And the have-nots seem to be more visible than they've ever been. I don't mean to be dissing anybody when I tell you this, but I've been noticing a family of, I assume, a father, mother, and teenage daughter in the area near where we live. You come out the back gate and you're near Aldi's, and you know who is a regular there. So one time I'm parked at Aldi's, and I notice there's a teenage girl across the street by the exit from the Publix, shopping behind the gas station. Do you know where I mean, roughly? It's just south of Westmoreland, actually. But anyway, so the teen girl is there with a sign. I see the mother drive, I assume the father, and drop him off at the entrance of BJ's, which is just across from Aldi. I don't mean to be promoting Aldi. I'm just trying to give you my GPS here. Although I do promote Aldi. I did mention the Stalin last week. Hold that thought. So the car driven by, I assume, the mother, drops the father off at the entrance where he can watch the teen across the street, and he can stand there at the entrance to BJ's with his own sign. And then when I left, I came down one, and I noticed at the new Wawa's, which is at the corner of Goldenrod and 1, there's the mother with the sign of hers. So here's a trio of a family begging on the corners, and we're seeing that more and more. And you know, you can say things about that, You don't judge, you don't know their need. I don't know their need, but it seems like we're seeing more of that all around the area. So this is the time of noticing stark contrast. And I caught in the news, and you probably did too, that the spending for Christmas was good, especially by those of the higher brackets, but not good, by people who weren't of the have class. Which led me to another Christmas memory that I have to share with you. The church I had in Floral Park, I showed you the couple coming down the aisle, I guess last week, because it appeared in my Storyworth book. But anyhow, when I went there, I was eager to do everything I could. I was young, I had energy, and the minister there was not either. And he said to me, when I said I wanted to do everything I could, he says, good, because I want you to do everything you can. I want to practice retirement. So my job title there was the youth and Sunday school, youth and Sunday school. So they eagerly asked me to do the children's pageant, to make it work, to find some lines, get the kids together, make the parents happy. Well, Boy Wonder here from Yale Divinity School was not about to do the standard thing. And the standard thing was to find a little 10-year-old girl who could say ever so cutely, "How can this be? I am a virgin." That was the standard pageant. But I found a drama service called Contemporary Drama Service and a play called No Room at the Inn. It was mainly about the people who got to look into the Macy's windows in New York but couldn't afford to go in. The pageant or play ended with a very poor, ill-clad old man holding the hand of a little young girl, both looking in the windows. The lights dim, it is night, and the curtains close. The lights come on, it is morning, and the shoppers come upon the old man and the child, frozen to death. And the curtain closes. I come out and say, well, we all have food for thought now for Christmas. Let's all stand and sing Joy to the World. The music starts slowly. Before people stand, I have a curmudgeon-type guy primed to stand and say, "Reverend, what kind of a Christmas message is this? We don't feel like singing Joy to the World. We just saw people frozen to death." And then a little dialogue follows about the gap between the dire need and excess at Christmas time, or need and greed in America. The end result was they didn't ask me to do the Christmas pageant again. I guess that was like dropping a plate if you didn't want to wash the dishes. But I liked the play, and I liked the difference from what had been there before. Now, the stark contrasts of this season grab us in different ways, but it grabs us. Now, one of the facts of UU and Christian and Jewish, at least them, and no doubt others, is that part of our foundational documents include the words of the prophets. And the words of the prophets, now remember, these prophets were talking 700 BCE, long ago, but they were writing that governments always favor the haves. Governments always favor the haves. And someone has to care more about the have-nots than the governments. Now, you could say that applies today. Could you not say that applies? It applies every day. And the prophets wrote it for people like us to read it and be guided by it. And so I can't help but mention that. So this is a season of nostalgia. We remember things we miss, and we also remember or notice people who are living with a lot less. And we hope that our living does something to change that. There's a closing hymn, but I can't remember what it is. It came up, yeah, thank you. It came upon the midnight clear. 244. Before the benediction, I just want to, or the closing words, I just want to say how grateful I am to all who have helped so much in this past few weeks and in this season. I mean, we truly do show what a team we are and how much we need each other in this community. Now, if you read what I wrote in the newsletter, and if you didn't, please don't tell me you didn't. But you notice I gave honorable mention to a concoction that Jim and Tricia brought last Sunday and Christmas Eve. Now, I didn't know what to call that, Jim, but I would like the recipe so I can find my way to it on my own. But thank you all very much. You all added to our recipe of a joyous season, and we certainly needed it and need it. The closing words are from Theodore Parker. Be ours a religion which, like sunshine, goes everywhere. Its temple, all space. Its shrine, the good heart. Its creed, all truth. Its ritual, works of love. Its profession of faith, divine living. Theodore Parker.